All right, let's get into it. You know, every time you use a search bar, whether it's on a website or inside your company's network, there's a powerful engine doing all the heavy lifting. And for a very long time, the choice of which engine to use was defined by this massive rivalry. This is way more than just a story about software. It's about a foundational battle that literally shaped how we find information today. This is the story of Elasticsearch versus Solr.
This line just perfectly sets the stage. Think about it. The internet was exploding, and so was the amount of data. All of a sudden, companies were drowning in information. They needed to search through millions of server logs just to find one tiny error, or sift through mountains of documents for a single sentence. The old ways just couldn't handle it. And right out of that chaos, these two open-source titans emerged to take on the challenge.
So first up, let's talk about the original champion, the OG, the established powerhouse, Apache Solr. Before pretty much anyone else was doing it at scale in the open-source world, Solr was the one you turned to for serious, enterprise-level search.
Solr's origin story starts with this legendary project called Apache Lucene, which, and this is a key detail, is the core search library that actually powers both of our contenders today. By building on top of Lucene, Solr was a total game changer. It took the kind of super sophisticated search that used to cost a fortune with proprietary software and basically made it available to everyone, for free.
And this really gets to the heart of Solr's whole identity, because it was part of the Apache Foundation. It was kind of like a grand, meticulously organized public library. It was run by the community with huge focus on a slow, deliberate, and super stable development process. It came loaded with all these heavy-duty, enterprise-grade features right out of the gate. For big companies, it was the safe bet, the workhorse, the one you could absolutely trust.
But you know how it goes. Every champion eventually faces a challenger. And in 2010, a new contender stepped into the ring, one that was built for a completely new era of software development. Meet Elasticsearch, a tool designed from the ground up to be nimble, fast, and just ridiculously simple to get started with.
Now, just like Solr, Elasticsearch was also built on that same rock-solid foundation of Lucene. But its creator, Shay Banon, he was obsessed with something different, the developer. He wanted to build something so easy to use that a developer could get a full-blown, powerful search cluster up and running in minutes, not days, all with a simple, clean API.
And this is where you see the huge difference in their approach. Where Solr was this community-driven project, Elasticsearch was backed by a commercial company called Elastic, and that meant they could market the heck out of it. They had this laser focus on the user experience with dead simple APIs, and it was designed in a way that just felt right at home in the modern world of the cloud.
So this is where the story gets really juicy, because this rivalry wasn't just about whose features were better or who was faster. It was a fundamental clash of ideas. It was a battle between two completely different philosophies about how you should build, manage, and share open-source software with the world.
On one side, you had Solr representing what's called the Apache way. Think strict standards, community-led governance, and very methodical, careful progress. And on the other side, you had Elasticsearch championing the Elastic way, a relentless, almost obsessive pursuit of speed, simplicity, and an awesome user experience, all driven by the vision of a single company.
Okay, so what did that actually mean in the real world? This table just lays it all out. You've got Solr, backed by the community, designed for stability, which made it the perfect choice for that traditional big company enterprise search. And then there's Elasticsearch, commercially backed, designed for speed and simplicity, which found its killer use case in real-time log analytics.
And this really became the core question that developers and entire companies had to ask themselves. Were you going to go with the proven, community-led titan known for its robust, careful process? Or were you going to bet on the fast-moving, user-friendly disruptor with a company behind it? Your answers said a ton about what your team really valued. So, who won? What was the outcome of this epic battle? Well, here's the cool part. It turns out their competition didn't just crown a single winner. It actually forged the entire landscape of modern search and data analysis, and honestly, made it better for everyone. You can really see the story unfold on this timeline. Solr shows up in the mid-2000s and basically creates the market. Then, bam, 2010, Elasticsearch arrives, and it so quickly found this incredible niche with log analytics. By combining it with a couple of other tools, Logstash and Kibana, they created the ELK stack. And this thing just exploded. It became the default way to monitor what the heck was happening inside your applications.
This chart just says it all, doesn't it? Solr totally held its ground with those big established enterprises that really valued its stability and deep feature set. But man, in the world of startups and cloud-native apps, Elasticsearch was king, no question.
It was just faster to get going and way easier to scale up.
So what's the final verdict here? Well, Elasticsearch arguably won the mindshare battle, becoming the default choice for new projects, especially in that world of observability. But Solr never went away. It's still a trusted, powerful workhorse in the enterprise. But the real legacy, the most important outcome, is that their constant competition pushed both of them to innovate like crazy. They made powerful search accessible to everyone and cemented Lucene as the invisible engine that powers search all across the internet.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway. This story is so interesting because it's about so much more than just lines of code or performance benchmarks. It was a real debate, a fundamental disagreement about the best way to build and share incredible technology with the world.
In the end, you had one team chasing simplicity and speed like their lives depended on it, and you had the other team holding down the fort for standards and stability. And in their long rivalry, they didn't destroy each other. Instead, together, they defined an entire category of software and proved that even in a fierce competition, the biggest winner can be the entire open source community.